Well, this is a video for a Honda CR-V. This is a 2.2 EX diesel with 77,000 miles on the clock. Car's finished in Nighthawk black, but benefits from some fairly major options which are worth thousands of pounds on these cars. What you see on the car here, obviously you've got the Nighthawk black, which was an option. We've also got the dynamic body pack, kit on the car, or aero pack, so you've got this deeper front air dam, which really does look fantastic on the car. You get the same treatments on the back of the car with lower bumper extended and a high level rear spoiler. When I get to the back of the car and side on, you'll see exactly what I mean. Also, as you can see on the car here, you've got these beautiful 5-spoke 19-inch alloys on the car, and the side steps fitted as well. So it's a pretty impressive pack that's been placed on this vehicle. Condition of the car is absolutely superb, it really is. All the lenses on the front here, no cracks or marks on those. Bonnet is amazingly free of stone chipping. There's hardly anything on there. In fact, there's very little on the front bumper either. It's done its miles just unbelievably well. Offside of the car here, let's go down. Alloy wheel. These alloys are in the best condition I've ever seen for a car this age. They're in absolutely stunning condition. So they're absolutely spot on. On there, you've got at least 4 or 5 millimeters of tread on the tyre. Panel work is really clean. Being a black car that's what, 9 years old now, there's going to be the odd minor mark which you're going to have to forgive any car for, but this car looks incredibly crisp. Coming down the side there, you can see there's absolutely no indentations in the paintwork at all. Rear tyres got tons of tread, it must be sort of 7 or 8 millimeters, got absolutely tons. An alloy wheel again, just beautiful condition. I'm going to pan back a bit just so you can see the side profile of the car, because it's really good looking with that spoiler and those extensions there. And I think its best angle of all is this one up here, the 3/4 rear angle. That car's just got such a lovely look about it compared to the standard vehicle. That high level spoiler and deep rear spoiler really does finish off an exquisite looking car. Let's come around now to the near side of the vehicle. Again, I cannot see a single dimple dent on this side of the car at all. It's pretty much mirror smooth down there. Actually, tell a lie, I found a couple. There they are. There's one there and one there. So there is. Oh, there are. It is a used car after all. There we go. Rear wing, apart from those tiny little dimple dents, superb. Rear tyre, exactly the same as the other side. Got tons of tread and alloy. Just stunning condition. Panel work down the side again, all really good. The front tyre again on this side, you're looking at least 5 millimeters or so just to match the other one on the other side, and to finish off a beautiful set of alloys, that one there. So exterior wise, apart from those tiny little dimple dents, one of the very nicest CR-Vs I've ever seen. Coming in the back of the car now, absolutely cavernous boot on these things, tonneau cover there, and they are seriously massive. Those rear seats can also be pulled forward on rails, a bit like you do on front seats of a conventional car, and you can add another 5 or 6 inches of boot space here. But it really is a massive boot. I mean, this is why they're so popular with families. Coming to the back of the car now, rear leatherwork is in absolutely beautiful condition, really is. You can see there, this is the seats with just absolutely massive amount of rear leg room on there. Back of the seats there, very nice order. CR-Vs are obviously used for families, so you do find they can have a few little marks inside where kids have been sort of messing around and kicking the back of seats. But this one has stood the test of time very well indeed. So coming to the front now, driver's door card, generally in good condition. There's a few light marks on there, just where someone's arm's been brushing against there slightly, but nothing that detracts from the overall car. Sill area again, very nice indeed. Obviously electric adjustment there for driver's seat, all looks absolutely perfectly. The driver's seat itself again in very good order. The only wear you're going to see just getting in and out, the bolster's absolutely perfect, but just a tiny bit of wear on the leather there, in keeping with the way leather should wear on any car. Very comfortable seats actually, and passenger seat obviously in absolutely super condition there. Obviously EX is a massive spec car. As part of that you get this lovely big glass panoramic roof, and if I just pull that switch back, It just opens and shuts at the flick of a switch there, and it all works absolutely perfectly. So inside the car now, interior is in absolute super condition, really is. Really nice dashboards built to a wonderful standard. Just going to close the sunroof there so it take away some of the glare from the sat-nav system there. You can see the sat-nav working absolutely perfectly. And pop that into reverse and you get this lovely crystal clear rear parking camera. All works absolutely perfectly. Pop that and it gives you access to the CD player behind. It all works brilliantly. All the switches, fabulous order. Air conditioning, dual zone, very simple to use. Ice cold air coming out of the air conditioning, and it's 22 degrees and pretty muggy today. Gear lever and it's leather surround, absolutely super condition there. And then down here we've got this central storage area. Obviously heated seats, all work absolutely perfectly as you'd expect on any Honda car. Coming across the dashboard, just pan in there, 76,318 miles. Obviously engine's running as you can see, and no warning lights on the car, just the low fuel light there. Come back here, we've got auto lights and auto wipers on the car, and this multifunction steering wheel which has controls for audio top left, cruise control top right, and voice activation on the bottom left there. Tucked behind here we've got controls for your electric wing mirror. Just press that button there and your wing mirrors fold in exactly as they should. But all in all, you look at the car in really lovely condition. Just quickly show you here, I've got the full owner's manual pack, the original one from Honda, and lock and wheel nut set for the vehicle as well. Finally, just the service history for the vehicle, just to show you. We've got 8 stamps with the car, with services at 13,000, 24,000, 31,000, 44, 45, 55, 70 and 76,000 just been serviced. Right, there's a video for a Honda CR-V. This is a 2.2 EX car, registered YY57AKU. Mileage at the start of this brief road test is 76,302 miles. Reason we do the road test is basically to give people who are interested in buying our cars obviously a visual look at the cars prior to coming to see us, but also the fact that we're now selling to customers from all over the near continent and the extremes of the UK, and we just feel it's right, if you're going to come and see our cars, that you get an opportunity to see them prior to coming to us. Worth pointing out that the road test that we're doing now is on exactly the same road as any prospective buyer will drive on, just outside our premises. So a nice quiet country road. So this video should obviously be representative of exactly how you'll feel yourself. So starting with the engine, obviously i-CDTi engine, sorry. Great engines. This engine pulls very smoothly. It's got loads of grunt and power. Idles nice and smoothly. No change in engine note when clutch is in or out. No warning lights on the dashboard here apart from the fuel light relating to the engine or anything else on the vehicle either. Temperature gauge a third of the way up, which is exactly where it wants to be on a Honda car, petrol, diesel or otherwise. But yeah, very smooth, very quiet engine, very nice indeed. The engine obviously powers then through the clutch and the gearbox of the vehicle. Clutch is nice and smooth in operation, and as I mentioned before, when the clutch is in or out, there's no change in engine note, there's no vibrations coming back through that shouldn't be there. So I put the clutch in, clutch out, literally the rev counter staying exactly the same, and so there's no kind of shaking or otherwise, because as with all diesels, they have a dual mass flywheel. Hondas are much tougher than most, but even they can, with a lot of miles on, can wear those out eventually, especially if people are resting their foot on clutch pedals, which seems to kind of accelerate that wear. The clutch then drives through to the 6-speed manual gearbox, mounted up nice and high up here, but it's a very good gearbox, typical Honda, really nicely engineered. The change quality is fantastic. Synchro mesh is absolutely brilliant on them. This one I can't detect an ounce of wear in the gear change at all. Not that I really ever do on them. It's so well engineered linkages and the cables, because that's the thing is, the other thing to bear in mind is that obviously cables run through from the gear lever here through to the box, but somehow Honda, unlike most manufacturers, still managed to manufacture in a kind of a really nicely engineered feel to it, so you don't have any vagueness on the gear change. It's just a really slick, positive, borderline, dare I say, kind of sporty change on the gearbox. It's got a fantastic quality of gear change. As I'm driving along here now, the steering of the car is again just got a lovely directness to it. There's no play at all in the steering of the vehicle. It's really, really fine order. They steer incredibly well for a four-wheel drive. It's quite a big car, but there's a real directness about them which I really love on the car. And being hydraulic power steering, it's got kind of a genuine feel to it rather than kind of the artificial stuff you get on these electric power steering systems. Again, just what I'm looking for when I'm driving a car on test drive is, because it tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations coming back through, but there's no wear in it. There's no kind of suggest there's any sort of slop in the steering at all. So that would suggest that things like sort of track rod ends and ball joints and rack and steering rack and column are all in very, very good order underneath. Likewise, the suspension of the car drives absolutely beautifully. No noises, bangs, knocks or otherwise coming from underneath the vehicle, which again suggest wearing the suspension components. The most common ones being kind of these little anti-roll bar link arms which chatter away when they wear out, and suspension components, top and bottom struts. The top of the struts, rather, they can sort of rattle with a bit of wear, but this rides absolutely beautifully. It really does. Just going to give the brakes a bit of a jab. Ooh, wow, yeah, really sharp brakes on the car, very good indeed. I'm just going to do that again on a straight bit of road. Worth pointing out as I'm driving along, just before I give the brakes another jab, that I also listen out for kind of a wind noise that shouldn't be there. Kind of when you get a kind of poorly fitted windscreen, or you can get sort of wind rustle coming through or wind hiss, but it's very smooth and very, very quiet in here. They do drive so well. I mean, this is a bit of a busman's holiday for me, because I've got one of these CR-Vs, and I've had loads and loads and loads of them, and so it comes as no surprise just the feel of them. I never tire of them. I think they're brilliant design. So more of that in a second. I go up this road here, which has got a shocking road surface deliberately, because obviously it picks up on anything on the vehicle, any imperfections or otherwise. Give the brakes a bit of a jab. Yeah, they're rock solid. Pulls up dead straight. No pulsing from the brake pedal or crunching or gaunching going on down there. So yeah, brakes are absolutely spot on. Looking inside the car, been kept in absolutely fantastic condition in here. The plastics on the dashboard, borderline new in terms of their look. There's no sort of light scratches on them. A lot of these CR-Vs, we go and see loads of them, but reject the vast majority of the ones we go and see, not for any mechanical reasons, but for cosmetic reasons. The reality is, CR-Vs are bought for the same reason that I buy mine, which is for family use. And sometimes you find that kids put their feet on the plastics, but they scratch them relatively easily. So you look at a lot of CR-Vs, they look okay from the outside, but when you get inside, they can be bashed about a bit. And that's nothing to do with build quality or quality of the plastics. It's just the type of use they're going to get. But looking in here, it's in really, really top order. Dashboard itself, obviously got a little cubby hole up here. Coming across here, we've got the nice high-mounted sat-nav system up there, all fully functional, as you can see. Press a button there, and that gives you access to the CD player behind it. And again, that's all fully functional as well. Coming down, controls for your climate control system, all works absolutely perfectly. Ice cold air coming out of the air conditioning. It's 21 degrees outside, and that's almost too cold to hold your hand against it. Dual zone, so side to side. You can do it full auto mode as well. But it all is dead simple to use, and much better for it. There's no sort of silly sort of sub menus to go into. It's just a very simple car to operate and drive, and it's, it's stylishly done but beautifully built. Gear gator here is in top order. Can't see it. There's nowhere that I can see in that, as is the gear lever itself. Come across to the dashboard, classic Honda affair. Lovely, dead simple dashboard to use. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to check the cruise control before I run out of time to do it. Yeah, cruise is working absolutely perfectly. Cancel, turn off. Dashboard, as I said, dead simple, big dominating symmetrical dials on there for rev counter and speedo. All the pixelation on the information display in the middle works absolutely perfectly. Not that we've ever had an issue on these, but it's worth pointing that out. Multifunction steering wheel, again, steering wheel's in really top order. There's no marks, no damage to it. And obviously you've got sort of audio top left, cruise controls I've just shown you top right, and hands-free functions down on the bottom left here. Auto lights, auto wipers, so you're big spec car. The fact is, every button I pressed has worked exactly as it should. Parking sensors, parking camera work absolutely perfectly. I cannot fault the car. And I do, as I said, I've done, this isn't a video just to gloss over, the problems with the vehicle. If there's a problem with it, then, I do let people know. But no, it does drive really nicely, and they said the condition of it is absolutely fantastic. It's a lovely car. We obviously have the spec and everything on it. I'm going to try the wipers, because they're pate to mine. I think it's smeary wipers I hate, but no, they're absolutely perfect as well. So yeah, like I said, I can't fault the car. As I was pointing out, I do criticise them. I had a CRV recently where the brakes were a little bit sort of weak, so we got new discs and pads, but I've noted that on the test drive on the video. But looking around the car now, I'm sure the car's got a mark somewhere inside it, but it's really lovely order. Even all the grab handles here, which you can wear people's rings, mark them. Which brings me on to the final bit, which is kind of the build quality of the car. I mean, I've got a friend who's kind of very heavily into his Volkswagens, and I can understand why people feel Volkswagen are well made. Audi, BMW, like Mercedes, all the German stuff, because they make them sound well built. The doors have a bump, shut, which they engineer in the sound. Incidentally, there's all the clever dampers on the door and little rubber mounts give it that kind of sound. But the reality is, you jump in a 7, 8, 9-year-old BMW, Audi, VW particularly, look at the switches, all the ones you use regularly, and I guarantee that the vast majority, the paint will have worn off them. They use this kind of rubbery paint that just peels off, the dashboards peel up. Real world build quality isn't about doors that sound lovely and heavy. It's about how they operate and how all the switches work at this moment in time when you're out of the manufacturer's warranty. And this is where Honda are a mile ahead of those manufacturers, which is why we don't sell those cars either, incidentally, because not only do they have that, they have engine issues, but notably electrical issues, where they're woeful on those. Whereas the Hondas, generally speaking, we have, they're not without their faults. I'm not going to pretend they don't have a fault. Of course they do, but they are far fewer and further between, and generally far cheaper to fix. Anyway, enough of me harping on about that. The point of this road test was really just to see how it drove, and it drives fantastically well. So, based on what I've experienced so far, anyone who came to drive the car will be utterly thrilled with the drive of the vehicle, I'm sure.